Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robert, I'm the Lynx Angler. Today I want to show you something I've been working on that I'm very excited about. I think this just might be the most versatile fishing vehicle ever. Let's check it out. Okay, so here it is, my brand new Hobie Pro Angler 12 with the Hobie Mirage 360 drive. This is the new XR model. And as you can see, I've got this thing pretty much kitted out. Whether it be freshwater or saltwater, I'm ready to go. So in the back, mounted to this one mission plate here, I have a Bixby mount for my original Bixby J1 motor and battery combination we have here. But ultimately, I want to swap it out for the Torqeedo. I think it's 1103. It's a 3 horsepower open propeller design, which will move this craft about 7.5 miles an hour, which is quite a bit better than the 4 that the Bixby will do. But anyway, so this nice little mount here, and the way that this works is when if I'm in really shallow water and I don't want this bumping against the bottom or getting tangled in grass or whatever, I can just pull this rope here, and there's a cleat right there that will hold it in place, and then it's up and out of the way. So I can fish, I can do whatever I need to do. If it was time to move, I just undo the cleat, let it drop down, locks into place, and I'm away. So that's really awesome. But I will tell you about one downside that I found already, and that is this design here is a little bit more like an impeller, like a jet ski almost, and it gets clogged with weeds and grass. And before, when it was up underneath my legs, I could pull it out, I could clear all the grass out and put it back in. But in this configuration, when it's this far behind me, I can't do that. You literally have to pull over, find somewhere you can stand, get out, clear all the junk out. So that's kind of a downside to this, and one of the other reasons why I want that Torqeedo with the open propeller design, because hopefully that won't get as clogged as this little encapsulated propeller. I've got my old faithful Yak Attack crate here, and this again is a lot of great storage. Right now I've got my flag and my light. Pretty cool, I'll show you how that mounts. Slide it right into this T-Track accessory right here, and there you go. Let's see what else do I have in here. Of course, tackle boxes. This is a rod holder that I like to use for the front. Especially if I'm sight fishing, I'll have this holding my rod for me so I can use the big paddle, and I can be standing and looking for fish, and then have my rod where I can just reach over and pick it up real fast. Also, part of my sight fishing configuration is I'll put this mount here on the side, and this allows me to place the paddle down on top of this, or maybe click it in if you feel like you have to. But ultimately, usually I just lay the paddle gently down on top of that and then pick up my fishing pole with my right hand and make the cast. Okay, let's move to the middle of the kayak. Of course, this seat is stock. It's really nice, has a lot of adjustments. Both of these handles will twist and turn to either adjust this part or this part. So you can really kind of get it dialed in for comfort. I do think though that if I were gonna spend all day sitting, I would also get another cushion. And as a matter of fact, I think I am gonna get another cushion. And of course, I've got my Lowrance mounted up here. And if I'm fishing in the salt, I really don't need this. This doesn't really do me a lot of good, other than navigation, but the areas I fish I know pretty well. I have been lost before, because the one great thing about a kayak is you can explore some crazy stuff. I mean, you can really go places boats can't go. So you can find yourself way back in these mangrove tunnels and not know how to get back out. But the one thing that I will take off if I'm going saltwater fishing will be the live scope. This is a pole from Sniper Marine that allows you to mount your live scope sonar module here. It lays in this way when you're moving or storing and you're not using it. And you can just twist it like that, put it back in, and now it's deployed. And you have this little handle right here, this little grip, like a motorcycle grip. And as you twist this, it's turning the bottom, which I'll show you. And so you can use this to very carefully dial in where the sonar is looking. So of course you're looking at your screen, you're just turning it a little left, a little right, a little left till you see the fish. You see them on the screen. Then you can see this arrow on the top of this unit will tell you where the fish is. So that's where you make your cast. This is really so much fun. It reminds me a lot more of sight fishing, which is what I love to do. I love trying to find them, and then that opportunity of making the cast to them and getting them interested in a bait. And with this, sort of like when you've got your eyes on them over in the saltwater, many times you can line it up with your bait and you see it swim right to the fish, and you can kind of gauge their reaction. Sometimes you'll see them shoot up from the bottom and they'll come look at it, and you're just certain you're about to get hit, but you don't. And you're thinking, man, what is it about that bait that they didn't like? So you can try changing different things and get different reactions. I think that's super cool, and I'm excited to finally have this on a kayak. So I'll be using this every single night because it's just that much fun. Okay, at the front of the boat, I haven't added, well I did, I added this keel guard on the bottom. So that's siliconed on, and that'll give me protection, especially when I'm loading and unloading out of parking lot skim. This is a very heavy kayak. I figure fully loaded, this guy is gonna be pushing 200 pounds, which is a lot to handle by yourself. But I've added the keel here, and then I added some navigation lights, so I can turn my navigation lights on and off. From this little switch in the middle. Not that big a deal, they're just stick-on eBay units. I just kind of ran the wires across from here, underneath the handle, down inside the hatch. It's the only tiny little hole that I've drilled is to run that wire inside of the main compartment here. Okay, so in the front here, if we open up the hatch, I still have this liner inside. Got my life jacket and some bungees, that sort of thing. But if you lift this out, then you can get in and see the wiring. On the back wall, I installed a firewall by the same company that did the part in the back. It's called One Mission. So that's a firewall, and that tie straps against the mast mount on Hobies. So on the left, I have the sonar module for my active target. On the right, you'll see a product made by Yak-Power, and it's just a little switching panel that has the remote. Let me show you the remote. The remote is here, and I just installed it into the little bin there in the center console, so I can reach all of that stuff easily while I'm out on the water. And so right now I have one is connected to my Lowrance. Two is the active sonar module. You can see now it's turned on. And I've got this bow. I have that one connected to this USB. I put a little USB port right there to keep the cameras charged. So that's pretty cool. That's on that circuit. So everything is connected with these quick connects. Even though I've got these heat shrink connectors here, but all of this, the power for everything is on those quick disconnects, which is really nice when you have to remove things, and it keeps things a lot more organized. Okay, last but not least, also from One Mission, is this block-off plate that takes the place of the normal Hobie rod holders. So I took them out on the right side so I can install this grommet on the bottom. This is the active target cable, which is big, and it has a really big connector. In the middle, I installed this plug for my battery tender, so I can just charge the battery at night through that port. And then, of course, I already showed you the USB that I did on the top. Okay, so I want to show you where I put the battery, and I mounted it right underneath this tray, kind of underneath the seat. So we get this out of the way, and we can look down and we can see my battery mounted right here under the seat. So to connect the battery to the front, I wanted to stay with all these quick connects. So I got this extension cable off Amazon, and I just run that underneath the deck along the side, and then that comes to the Yak-Power input here. And I had to put a polarity reverser on here because they changed the polarity on their plug. But another Amazon part that I got to connect to this extension cable, and then all that can just kind of tuck out of the way. And still everything is easy to disconnect, and everything stays organized that way. Okay, thank you for checking out the build video of my new Hobie Pro Angler 12. Is this the most versatile fishing vehicle there is? I don't know, I'm gonna find out. If you're interested in building something like this for yourself, I'll put links below to all the things that I put on here. And I can't wait to show you how much fun we're gonna have with this thing. I'm gonna take it over and catch some big fish. I know I'm gonna catch a lot of bass, I already have. And I'll share that with you, but I wanna catch some proper saltwater fish in this thing too. So I'll see you then.